Welcome to a championship edition of the End Zone. Along with Josh Calloway, I am Colby Daniels. The Oklahoma City Thunder did it, Josh. They won Game 7 on Sunday night, and it's been a week-long celebration across the state of Oklahoma. The OKC Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions. I think I probably speak for nearly every resident in the state of Oklahoma and for all the Thunder fans outside the state. What a wild week it's been.
It's been unbelievable. It's weird because it's been the longest week ever, but that sounds negative, but it's not. Just Game 7 feels like already like a month ago, but it's been an incredible week in Oklahoma City and the entire state of Oklahoma. Obviously just a seismic, humongous achievement that I think is going to just carry all of Oklahoma throughout the entire summer. It's been an incredible week. I like these a championship edition. That gets the
championship edition.
Yeah.
That's right. We are celebrating everything that took place, I think, throughout this playoff run, and obviously this week, the multitude of celebrations that have gone on. Game 7 feels like so long ago. This playoff run felt like it lasted a long time.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of Thunder fans, just the nightly sitting on the edge of your seat, chewing your fingernails off, hoping that they were going to get it done, made the run feel like it lasted a lot longer maybe than it actually did on the calendar. But, there was very much a sense of like, I just want them to get it done, right? I think for a lot of Thunder fans, and that they're good enough to do it. This wasn't like a situation where you have a team, you're just hoping that they're able to get it done because you hope they're good enough. Everybody knew this team was the best team in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Like, you knew that going into the postseason. Throughout the postseason run, you kind of knew this was the best team in the NBA. It was just a matter of whether they would cap this season off with a championship and the chips would fall in their favor. And so, you are watching all of this go down, and I think a lot of people were enjoying the moment, but there was also just this, like, sigh of relief when they finally got it, that it happened. They were able to clinch the championship. And then you get to all the post-game celebrations and the parade, and it's like, I can't believe it's over. It just kind of a weird crossroads of, hoping they get it done, and it's now over, and, I don't know what to do with my hands sort of thing.
Honestly, it was just, I think, for 2 solid months, certainly us, but the whole state were just gripped by this. It had everyone's attention. People that don't care about sports, people in my family, my grandparents.
That's right.
People that were not locked into NBA at all were dialed in, every couple of nights for 2 months watching this team try to do this. And like you said, I think that added to the pressure that everyone knew they were good enough and that the path had set up pretty reasonably and that they were healthy. And Thunder fans are very uniquely aware that these opportunities, even though it feels like there's going to be more, it's not a given, right? I mean, so there was a ton of pressure and just to get this done. I mean, they had Game 7 at home. It was all set up for the Thunder to do it. And I think that was going to add to the anxiety going in, and the fact that they got the job done is just a heck of a feeling. Like you said, it's almost weird these last couple of days, the fact that it is over. Like, they did it. There's no other game to win.
You just cross the finish line, and then it's like, that's it.
There's no other hurdles. Like, they accomplished it. You can let yourself relax and celebrate it, because no matter what happens moving forward, if they don't go on the dynasty run that I think we all think they're capable of going on, you can't take away this. Like, they won a championship. That'll last forever. That banner will hang forever. That trophy will reside in the Paycom Center in the new arena forever. Like, you can't take that away. And so I think it's okay for Thunder fans to just kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy it.
It's kind of wild to think when we were doing this show 1 week ago, the Thunder were coming off that Game 6 disaster at Indiana where they were blown out and everybody questioned whether or not, they had the urgency to win a Game 7 following the lack of urgency or the lack of matching the Pacers' urgency in Game 6. And, I think we both made the point throughout that entire weekend leading into Sunday night's Game 7 tip-off. Game 7's at the Paycom Center, and no matter how you feel about what the Thunder did on the road in any of the games throughout this postseason or in Game 6 specifically, being at the Paycom Center brings out another gear in this team. And we haven't talked about Game 7 on this show yet, but the one thing I'll just bring up without getting too much into the X and O's of the game, the vibe at the Paycom Center, the energy at the Paycom Center on Sunday night before Game 7 just had, a whole different level of juice than I think I've ever experienced.
Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible. I've been fortunate to go to a lot of cool places and do a lot of cool things. That atmosphere on Sunday night was right up there with anything I've personally done or gotten a chance to attend. It was incredible, and the place was juiced. We were doing the pregame show over an hour before tip, and I'm screaming and talking. I can't hear you.
That's right.
It was unbelievable, and I will distinctly always remember a couple of moments, but in the second half, whenever the Lou Dort moonball three, and then the Jalen Williams rimmed out, falls back in three.
Yeah.
I mean, those were just eruptions that you just don't hear really any other time. I mean, the crowd had that sense of title on the line, can taste it, trying to just will them over the line. And then whenever, I believe it was Kenrich Williams is dribbling the ball out, and that first note of I Got a Feeling hits, and everyone kind of really started to let it wash over them. Those are just moments that I think will stick with me forever. It was an all-time night in Oklahoma City for sure.
Yeah, that third quarter, the score is tied. SGA hits a three to go up 3. Chet then hits a three on the next possession to go up 6. Then the next possession, J-Dub hits the front part of the rim, the back part of the rim. It goes up and hits the backboard. And then it felt like it took an eternity to drop.
Yeah.
But when it went through the net, everything was completely silent. The fan base waiting to see if it was going to go in or not. When it drops through the net, the place erupts. It's a 9-point lead. I know Indiana ended up cutting into that lead. I think they dropped it down to 4. But I think that was the sequence for me that it was like, the Thunder are going to win the NBA title tonight on the floor in OKC, and it's going to be a wild scene. And you mentioned Kenrich Williams dribbling out the clock. As soon as the music starts playing, I'm looking down there to see the players' reaction, but my eyes immediately go up because I'm like, there's about to be confetti dropping on the floor at the Paycom Center, and to just see the people reacting and looking up, and there's tears running down people's faces, there's smiles, there's hugs. I mean, every reaction to just overwhelming joy was such an incredible scene, and it's one of those things that I'll never forget. Sure.
I was really struck by the emotion. Obviously, the team. Jalen Williams had some emotions and stuff like that. That stuff you kind of somewhat expect, but the emotion of like the fans and the storm chasers and the security people, I saw many of them tearing up.
That's right.
They're there every night. By the time you win the finals, they played however many games, over 100, right? I mean, and you're with them every step of the way, and to see it get over that hump was just an all-time moment, just in Oklahoma history, really removing sports, just Oklahoma history.
When we left the Paycom Center on Sunday night, I should say Monday morning, there were 3 people still on the floor when we officially hit the exit. And 2 of them I know were Thunder employees. One of them was still another media member, but we were among the last people to leave the floor at the Paycom Center. And it was just, to be there and experience all of that in the pregame and the postgame, and like you said, the hugs and celebrations from everybody, not just the fans, but everybody associated with the organization. It was just an incredible night. All right, we got to talk about favorite moments, basically since the Thunder won Game 7.
A lot's happened, actually.
A lot's happened. Yeah. The trophy ceremony, the parade, all that good stuff. We got a lot of that coming up next here on The End Zone. Welcome back to a championship edition of The End Zone. Thunder are your 2025 NBA champs, along with Josh Calloway. I am Colby Daniels. So many great moments, I think, in the aftermath of the Thunder winning the title, from just the post-game celebration on Sunday night to, I think, all of these guys being on social media or different media availabilities on Monday. And then Tuesday is one of the all-time iconic days in Oklahoma history, beginning with the season ticket holder ceremony at the Paycom Center on Tuesday morning, the parade that was unlike any championship parade I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, the exiting of buses, and that basically turned into like a 5K for the Thunder players. And then, the culmination of that, obviously, at Scissortail Park. What a wild few days it was. And I wish we had enough time in this show to display all of the moments that I loved from the last few days. We don't have enough, so I just had to condense a few of my favorites.
Sure.
But there were so many greats, and I saved a ton of them on social media. And again, I just couldn't put them all in the show. We don't have enough time. But I did want to play back some of the favorite moments from, I think, from the final buzzer of Game 7 Sunday night until the parade ends at Scissortail Park on Tuesday. So let's start with, I got one for Sunday night. It's Chet Holmgren in his post-game press conference. He had done an interview where he said champagne goggles were one of his must-have items, and he was asked if he brought those goggles.
I haven't broke them out yet. I brought them to India and we lost, so I left them at home. So you will see me with those on at the parade, but for now I got my Michelob Ultra joints, and these work more than fine. So we did it.
Can we just talk about how he pronounces Michelob as Michelob?
Can you tell that these guys are all young and that he calls it Michelob? They didn't know how to pop the champagne. Caruso had to teach them.
They need the 30-year-old Alex Caruso to open the champagne.
He never had a drink in his life until this week. You could tell these guys are a little on the younger side.
Yeah, but the Michelob just tickled me to no end. And the fact that he had the goggles prepared but then didn't even know what Michelob was, just that contrast to me was hilarious. That's right.
For however long, certainly all the playoff
big-time
run.
sponsors. Yeah. All right, let's go back to Tuesday morning. It's the season ticket holder ceremony at the Paycom Center to kind of kick the day off before the parade begins. The first player that they put on the stage that morning, Josh, and I was in the Paycom Center, was Aaron Wiggins, and he held court and finished it off with a mic drop.
Came in as the 55th pick in the 2021 draft. In my rookie season, we won 24 games. 24 games. But the best part about coming from that year is that the same people in this arena today celebrating this championship were the same people there when we were winning 24 games.
Here it comes.
It was a point where they tried to call us the black hole of the NBA. But 4 years later, when they mentioned the Thunder organization, when they mentioned Clay Bennett, when they mentioned Sam Presti, when they mentioned Mark Wagner, and every single one of you in this arena, they gotta mention you as NBA.
Just an unbelievable moment. I wanted to shake everybody in my vicinity on
awesome.
Tuesday morning when he did that. The place went absolutely bonkers. I saw Aaron Wiggins in the hallway after the ceremony was over before some of the other media availabilities, and I was like, dude, that was by far the best of anybody's speeches on the morning, and he goes, yeah, I kind of blacked out. I'm not even sure what I said. It was just incredible.
He cut a wrestling promo.
That's
basically.
right.
Luke
That's right.
Dort said it best afterward. Didn't know he had it in him. I don't think anybody knew Aaron Wiggins was going to do that all time.
Yeah. The Thunder players got off the buses. They were celebrating. They signed autographs. They took pictures. I mean, they did so many things with the fans along the parade route. We couldn't include them all, but here is SGA with a couple of the volunteer fans as they make their way through the parade. So good. Look at his face. Look at his face. Having the time of his life.
It's great. It's awesome.
It's so good.
SGA's got. He's so cool all the time. It's kind of fun to see him just kind of let loose a little bit.
All right, we gotta check out iHeart with the kid. This one's gone viral for sure. I mean, just one of the more incredible moments of the parade. And I mean, can you imagine what this kid is feeling in this moment? Like, he's psyched, but he also looks like he's about to break out in tears. It's just like, it's the greatest moment of his life. How incredible.
It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, and he got the kid a signed jersey after the fact.
That's right.
Really cool.
That's
really
right.
Cool.
As a parent, I think I can appreciate that more than probably before I was a parent.
Yeah.
But, okay, so everything culminates at Scissortail Park. The mayor's up there. All the players are up there. And Jay Will finishes it off with an absolute bang.
Yeah.
Hey man, we champs! The champ is here! Hey man, and they said we was too young. They said Oklahoma should have a team. But guess what? We the champs!
The best part of the video is Mayor Holt immediately puts his face in his hands. Meanwhile, every other human being that you can possibly see in the shot, hands go in the air and they just lose their minds. What a moment that was in Scissortail Park.
Jay Will is an all-time vibes guy. And
Absolutely.
Mayor Holt, he said it best afterward, like, what was I expecting to happen here? I mean, you got to just let him loose. Let him loose.
It's so great. All right, we got to take a timeout. It is a championship edition of Dunker Pass next here on the End Zone. Along with Josh Calloway, I am Colby Daniels. It is a championship edition of the End Zone. It is time for Dunker Pass as we have our arguably the most iconic photo, not only in Thunder history behind us, but potentially the state of Oklahoma history.
Just Oklahoma history.
This thing
yeah.
is
What
this
a
thing is
photo.
absolutely
All-timer.
incredible, all-time great photo. So you know how this works, Josh. I'm going to throw these out, and we will dunk or pass on the answers. This one's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I think they're all going to be dunks, but your favorite moments of just the title run in general, it doesn't even have to be all, NBA Finals, but the title
Sure.
run.
Yeah, a few stick out to me, quickly. Lou Dort's threes, that whole sequence in Game 5 against Denver. People kind of forget they were down 9 against Denver in the fourth quarter.
To start the fourth
Yeah,
quarter, right?
in Game 5 of the Denver series, that flipped that whole series. Obviously, you don't win that series, you don't win the championship, so that's a huge sequence for me. Gutting out Game 4s, both in Minnesota and Indiana. Both of those kind of finishes, SGA making all the types of plays. Both of those Game 4s really stick out to me, too. And then, obviously, I'm going to cheat and just go with when they dribbled it out at the end. I mentioned when that first I Got a Feeling note hit, that'll stick with me forever.
Yeah, I think that Game 5's across the board. We didn't have one in the first series, but Game 5 at the Paycom Center, it's tied 2-2. Like you mentioned, Dort hits the threes in the fourth quarter. Down the stretch, it was just a slugfest between basically Jokic and the Thunder.
Yeah.
And I mean, the feeling after that win was incredible. Game 5, where they clinched the Western Conference, and it's a celebration. The Thunder are on their way to the NBA Finals in the Minnesota series. And then Game 5 against Indiana. Before Game 7, I said Game 5 was the best atmosphere I've ever been a part of from a sports standpoint.
Right.
And, it probably from start to finish still is, because we had a big lull after Halliburton got hurt in Game 7. But from start to finish in Game 5, the NBA Finals, the Paycom Center
It was awesome.
was off the charts for all 4 quarters, all 48 minutes, and it was a vibe for sure.
Memphis comeback, too. I know it feels like
Yeah.
a lifetime ago, but...
Who? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Who's the greatest player in OKC Thunder history?
Without question, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for me now. I know there's still going to be some push for Russell Westbrook and everything he accomplished and what he means to the city and the state beyond basketball, right? And Kevin Durant, maybe from a pure skill perspective, like just level of ability. But SGA, man, I mean, you go win a championship, you won MVP, you won Finals MVP. What he's doing for the fan base, like the way he carries himself off the court, it's SGA for me now. I think he's eclipsed Russell Westbrook.
I don't know what argument there is against SGA, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's eclipsed Westbrook. Not only he's won an MVP like Russ did here. He's chosen Oklahoma like Russ did.
Right.
He wins an NBA Finals MVP, a championship. You see him as the face of this organization, and I mean the interaction
Look at this.
with Thunder fans. Like, I don't know how there's an argument for anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight at anyone else. But SGA is, I think just the last couple months speak for itself. I thought going into the playoffs it was already close.
Yeah.
I think this absolutely puts it over the top. All right, final one. How does the title change things for OKC Hoops?
That's the question. Do they still have that same urgency next year, from a night in, night out standpoint? They throttled everyone all year. The biggest point differential in the history of the league. They won 68 games, the 1 seed. Can they match that urgency? That's the question, because this team and this franchise is set up to not just win one, but to win maybe a couple more of these. Can they match the urgency? I think they probably will. These guys all seem to have the right mindset. But that's the question. Can they continue that urgency? That's the big question for me.
I think it's going to make next year's regular season probably the most fun and spotlighted.
Yeah.
Or spotlit. I don't even know what the
You're going to be on
terms are.
national TV a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the focus on every night is going to be at a level that we've never seen before. What's wrong with the Thunder when they lose to some random team? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be more attention paid to those games than ever. But I think the way that the national media covers the Thunder, guess what? They're a have now. They're not a have-not.
Yeah.
And I think the way that people talk about Oklahoma City as an NBA town, the Thunder fan base, and the Thunder team, it's going to be different than it's ever been, and they're going to get more respect than they've ever had now that they are champions, and that should last for a long, long time.
No
It's
doubt.
going to be a lot of fun. All right, we're wrapping up the show. Championship swag next here on the End Zone. Welcome back one final time along with Josh Calloway. I am Colby Daniels, a championship edition of the End Zone. What is a championship celebration, Josh, without championship swag?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much money you ultimately plan on spending on championship swag. I know a couple years ago when my Texas Rangers won, I won't even say the amount, but it was easily into the triple figures, probably closer to 4 digits than 3 digits. But we got some sweet
Absolutely.
new era swag, the championship edition of the Thunder winning this title. And if you haven't already, make sure you get your hands on championship swag. There's going to be points, I think, throughout the summer that you'll walk in somewhere and 50% of the people that you encounter will be embracing the Thunder's championship.
I've seen so many of those black shirts that they wore. Yeah, they're everywhere, all over the city.
Make sure you get your championship swag. All right, that's it for this edition of The End Zone. We got some confetti from the Paycom Center. Thunder are your NBA champions. We'll see you next week.